What's up, Taiwan? Good afternoon. I'm Rik Glauert, bringing you the latest news from here in Taiwan and around the world. For the first time, Taiwan's military is opening one of its largest domestically made warships to the public. But as Jaime Ocon reports, it's the smaller, deadlier ships on display that show the country's effort to develop a so-called asymmetric strategy.
These are a few of Taiwan's domestically made warships. They're docked here at a naval base in the southern city of Kaohsiung because for just one day, the military is letting the public step aboard to learn more about the vessels. It's the first time that this ship, called the Yusan, will allow civilians on deck.
玉山军舰是我国首艘国造且万吨级的两栖舰艇，它是依据我的作战需求所设计与建造。它最大的特色为其逆中的造型，复合式维塔设计。
Equipped with state-of-the-art weapons, amphibious vehicles, a full hospital facility, and a helicopter, its job is to provide Taiwan's outlying islands with supplies. In recent years, neighboring China has stepped up its military aggression around Taiwan as it seeks to bring the country under its control. But there are concerns that large ships like these could become easy targets, an issue Taiwan's Navy is now trying to solve. Now, while the Yusan might be one of Taiwan's largest warships, this smaller, more stealthier-looking ship called the Dajiang is arguably more important when it comes to combat. It's part of Taiwan's push to invest in smaller, more heavily armed ships to counter China's increasing aggression around the region. China's Navy, the world's largest, continues to sail warships around Taiwan as a form of military pressure. Outnumbered, Taiwan is putting a greater emphasis on an asymmetric defense strategy. That means smaller, more cost-effective ships. Armed with a variety of missiles, ships like the Dajiang would pose a significant threat to Chinese vessels coming close to Taiwan's shores. Because of its smaller size and speed, the Navy says the Dajiang is good at firing missiles while staying mobile, making it harder to target.
面对的威胁，在平时叫做大家都说的这国重，中国很多船来骚扰台湾，还有飞机，所以我们也需要有足够的这个船舰去进行所谓的escort 或 monitor。
Taiwan's Navy plans to build 12 Dajiang-class ships and 4 Yusan-class vessels. And the hope is that once completed, these ships can work together and support one another as they work to defend Taiwan's waters. Tsai and Jaime Ocon in Kaohsiung for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan says China launched a rocket that flew over the country. It was carrying a satellite into orbit.
这枚火箭的飞行路径经过台湾上空，高度位于大气层外。国军在过程当中保持高度警戒，并且周密地掌握相关动态，采取预应作为，确保空防安全。
China also used a rocket to launch a satellite in October. That space rocket was detected near Taiwan. It comes as tensions continue to build between Beijing and Taipei. China has been increasing its military presence in the air and seas surrounding Taiwan. Israel has agreed to daily 4-hour humanitarian pauses in the fighting in northern Gaza, starting immediately. That's according to US officials. The US says the plan will allow humanitarian aid into the enclave and let civilians flee the conflict. Israel will announce the timing of the pauses at least 3 hours before they start. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made clear that there will be no ceasefire without the release of hostages held by Hamas. US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is in New Delhi to meet with his Indian counterpart. Austin will be joined by US Secretary of State Antony Blinken for meetings with India's foreign and defense ministers. Officials say the talks will focus on security in the Indo-Pacific region and concerns over China. It comes after Blinken visited Japan and South Korea earlier this week. In Seoul, he said military cooperation between North Korea and Russia was concerning.
We have real concerns about any support for North Korea's ballistic missile programs, for its nuclear technology, for its space launch capacity.
Just days ahead of the APEC summit in San Francisco, Taiwan President Tsai has asked her envoy to relay a message. TSMC founder Morris Chang is serving as Tsai's representative to the summit. Tsai asked him to convey Taiwan's commitment to promoting regional peace and working with other countries to build a resilient supply chain. She also asked Chang to emphasize the country's green energy and digital transformations while protecting women's and labor rights. This is the 7th time Chang will represent Taiwan at the Regional Trade Conference. He accepted the president's request and emphasized that Taiwan is already trying to lead by example.
打造更具弹性与韧性的供应链，这个台湾已经是相当努力的在尽我们的力。
For more on the APEC summit, our reporter Joyce Deng spoke with Taiwan's top trade negotiator John Deng before he headed to the conference.
But from Taiwan's perspective, APEC is a rare international forum that it's included in. So for this year, what do you think the main goals or opportunities are for Taiwan?
Taiwan is really, we stand ready to help, and we also need to cooperate with other members. On the resilience, of course, Taiwan, our connection with the world, with the region is very close. As we can see, because of the COVID-19, people's life were very seriously disrupted. So this resilience, how to build up the resilience of the APEC is one of the focus points. We think what Taiwan can contribute the most is using the technology to help the region for the resilience. For instance, now people are talking about AI. Taiwan is very strong in these chips, and chips is a vital part for the AI. And if AI can properly developed, that can help the public health, can help the ordinary, every part of the life.
In a post-pandemic, world, what does resiliency mean? What does that look like? And then specifically for Taiwan, though, what does that mean?
My interpretation for this resilience is every society needs to prepare for any unexpected, unfortunate situation. In managing Taiwan is to be able to prepare for. We all hope it won't happen, but you cannot think, you cannot, based on your manage the country on that assumption.
What is the biggest disruption that potentially facing Taiwan?
I think natural disaster is one thing. Many parts of the Asia this year suffered quite significant damages because of this unusual weather pattern. So we all have to prepare for that. When the APEC start to discuss this climate change, it's very healthy. Only focus on economy and trade is not resilient.
You've also, said that trade and attracting foreign investment is a big strength for ensuring Taiwan's security. But Taiwan's valuable chips ecosystem is expanding internationally. Does that weaken its defense, you think?
We don't think so. Now, in the case of TSMC, you see they expand to the United States, Germany, Japan. It is expansion of Taiwan's strength. This is not weakening. Taiwan has its limit. Our resources, our water, electricity, talent, all have its limit. But we need to go to international, other part of the international market.
That was Joyce Deng speaking with Taiwan's chief trade negotiator, Minister John Deng, before traveling to the US for the APEC summit. Be sure to stay tuned to TaiwanPlus next week as Joyce brings us the latest from San Francisco. Taiwan's economy minister is in Tokyo, where she has praised Japan's investment in Taiwan.
大概会有100亿的这个投资额，相关的投资呢，这边今天拜访之后，大概在明年的第一季会来落实。
Wang Meihua opened the 3-day Taiwan Expo in Tokyo. It's part of Taiwan's efforts to strengthen economic ties between the two countries. As well as seeking investment, Taiwan is also hoping to set up a technology partnership with Japan. KMT presidential candidate Ho Yo-i says he wants to set up a drug enforcement agency. That came as part of a new policy announcement focused on crime. Ho was a police officer in Taiwan before he became a politician. He also says he wants to keep drugs out of schools, bust drug trafficking gangs, and hand out heavier punishments for drug crimes.
为了向毒品宣战，我有意正式在这个地方宣布成立缉毒署专责单位来打击毒品。
With oceans on all sides, Taiwan is a free diving paradise. But the extreme sport only began to catch on in the country in recent years. Our reporter Sandy Chi went to great depths to learn what the fuss is all about.
Holding your breath while deep underwater seems like an unnatural place for a human. But for freediving enthusiasts, nothing could be further from the truth.
自由潜水其实当然跟就是人类就是最一开始的状态很类似。我们一开始都是在妈妈的羊水里面嘛，一口气，然后做闭气下潜的这件事情，我们就会称之为自由潜水。
Taiwan's Freediving Association says the number of people taking part in the sport has grown by 170% over the past few years.
我觉得主要两大部分比较多，第一个是比较喜欢挑战自己的人，因为毕竟它算是一个极限运动。那第二个是通常是想要休闲啊，或是拍照片的人。
台湾算是自由潜水这个运动竞技项目蛮优势的国家。一方面我们地理上的优势很好，二方面我们学的人口很多。自由潜水证照教育的市场上，我们是全世界第2大市场。
But don't be fooled by calm images of divers gliding through picturesque waterscapes. It takes strict training to become a licensed freediver.
A lot of difficult training is needed to make this challenging sport look effortless and can sometimes be dangerous. Experts say it's important to get a license before taking the plunge.
One of the most popular diving organizations is AIDA. It was one of the first global institutions set up in France in 1992. AIDA has 4 levels of freediving courses: introduction, beginner, advanced, and master level. The courses include instruction on freediving theory and techniques. Instructors say only about a quarter of students get their license on the first try. Most people find it difficult to master one of the basic skills.
我应该是解平压，因为我平压一直卡住。
For others, the sport itself can be intimidating.
我记得第一次海训的时候，下面刚好还有那个水肺的潜水在那边玩，所以就很多泡泡上来。然后那泡泡一上来都觉得非常可怕，就赶快冲上来。
Divers train hard to withstand the extreme conditions underwater, but there's always an element of danger.
因为你的氧气不足，那大脑为了能够保护你身体，所以它自动断电。我们就是一直很追求着要不呼吸，所以你又在水里面昏倒，所以你在水里面就会没有呼吸。
It can be dangerous, but many are still willing to take on the challenge. They say this is more than just a sport.
我觉得它教会我冷静，因为你在水下，比如说很深的地方的时候，你就是需要身体很放松，然后跟很冷静，就知道遇到问题的时候就不能够慌掉，你要慢慢的想要怎么做。
The world can be a scary place, so finding that calm while facing your fears alone in the deep may be what draws people to this extreme sport. Scott Huang, Semeneta Ho, Philip Prasad, and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Japan has gained a new island, emerging in a cloud of steam after the eruption of an underwater volcano. The tiny landmass is located just south of Iwo Jima, known to Japan as Ioto Island, around 1,200 kilometers south of Tokyo. The island is still unnamed and is only about 100 meters in diameter, but it could grow from more eruptions or shrink as battering waves cause erosion. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Before we go, let's have a look at a famous statue of a dog named Hachiko outside Shibuya Station in Tokyo. The city is celebrating Hachiko's 100th birthday. I'm Rik Glauert, take care, and we'll see you next time.